Hello and welcome to Internet Culture. I'm Mark Tasman, coming to you from the Digital Arts and Culture Media Lab and Research Module. In Chapter 1.1.1, pay attention to these different diffusion models. There's linguistic change and ecological systems. In the linguistic change, each year we make up new words. Take a look at these words that have been made up in the last few years, last decade, actually. In terms of the ecological system, right, we think once we introduce something into, nature, so if you think about the invasive species in the Great Lakes, right, so zebra mussels, like how do you get the zebra mussels out? You can't get them out once they've gotten in. So how does this system adapt and evolve? High interdependence and non-reversibility. Watch that Apple Macintosh commercial, 1984, again, with that particular idea in mind, with the ecological system, the interdependence, and the non-reversibility. There's also these other theories of diffusions. A couple of examples, the QWERTY versus the Dvorak keyboards, and this idea that innovations do not always spread by virtue of themselves. Apple. I something. Look at perceived attributes. There's a list of them. Think about this and watch these Apple advertisements, the iPhone commercials. There's some from 2007, the current iPhone ads. There's also a parody that's amusing. Also, there's Sprint has made these Now Network commercials. Be sure to watch those commercials and be thinking about these perceived attributes, right? These are the reasons that we convince ourselves that we want something. They're the reasons that say it's okay to do this thing, right? This is how the thing itself, in a sense, if it had intelligence, could convince us. And then there's two models in moving on to chapter 1.1.2. There's two approaches to media. One of them, if you think about the deterministic approach, right, it could be utopian. Utopia, a beautiful, harmonious world that is, it's going to end well, or dystopian, that is, it ends badly, the machines take over, they enslave us. You've heard it all before. And this idea of Luddites, so watch The World of Video on VHS. It's also a parody, but it's amusing, and it does present a compelling argument for being a Luddite. Luddites resist technology in the hopes of saving humanity from dystopia. A champion of the deterministic theory is Marshall McLuhan, right? A Canadian. Marshall McLuhan said the message of any given medium is the change in scale or pace or pattern that it introduces into human affairs. In fact, he said that the chicken was the egg's idea for getting more eggs. Think about it. Kidding. The flip side of this argument is Williams, who's an instrumentalist, right? He says that technology must be seen as being looked at for and developed with certain purposes and practices already in mind. So while McLuhan would say, well, when Thomas Edison invented the light bulb, what happened, the natural flow of things was that when Thomas Edison invented the light bulb, he was actually opening up this Pandora's box, the whole electrical grid, right? And then all kinds of things were inevitable from that. Brain surgery, night baseball, rooms without windows, television, computers, the internet. Williams says, okay, no, these things are tools and we are people. So an instrumentalist argument about the invention of photography would be people wanted to have images of themselves, and the only way they could do that before was to have paintings made, right? So it was a status symbol, right? When you had this surging middle class because of the Industrial Revolution, people said, aha, there is something, there's some money to be made here if we can get all these people who are moving to the city to buy this new thing, to buy into it, right? So Williams would say, right, the camera is just a tool. The camera didn't take over our lives, right? We invented humans invented the camera because it would fulfill a certain purpose. We're going to jump back to 1.1.1, page 11, these uncertainties in adopting technology, and this idea of potential obsolescence, or planned or perceived obsolescence, and the subversions of hierarchies. There's a 10,000 Maniacs song I want you guys to listen to. And then the story of stuff with Annie Leonard. There's a video you can watch in the PowerPoint presentation. There's particular segments that I want you to watch. And so, very good. Enjoy this. Take quiz 1 before the designated time, and I will see you on the internet.